Hey guys, welcome back. Georgia with the Easton Training Center. This is CrossFit ETD. We're going to go over the variations for the Kipping handstand push-up for CrossFit purposes today. So for the Kipping handstand push-up, there's 4 parts. At any point in time, if that is the part that your athlete is working on, they're going to branch off, count that 1 for 1. Alright, so this is the Kipping handstand push-up. This is what it looks like. Notice that I made full contact with the object that I have on the ground. For now it's an ab mat. And that I had full stability at the top before I kicked out. There was no kick out while I was finding stability and I was against the wall. For setup purposes, I'm going to have one ab mat. If I'm using an ab mat or an ab mat brand sit-up helper, I'm going to make sure that the thick side of the ab mat is away from the wall. So I'm going to take the thin side, place it up against the wall, and then make sure that I have a clear area on either side. If you want to have a couple ab mats, be sure that they're stacked opposite so that they're not wobbly. The best bet is to use just the one ab mat. It works best with the variations that we're talking about today. So part 1 of 4 of the Kipping handstand push-up is called the kick up. This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and turn to face the wall, and I'm going to make sure that I am 2 ab mat distances away from my ab mat. So once you have your athlete set up, they're going to turn, face the wall, and they're going to be 2 ab mats away from the wall with their dominant leg. It looks like this. Alright, from there, you're going to make sure that their hands are placed right next to the ab mat, where their fingers come right by the words and slightly in. Alright, so that's going to be the setup for part 1. It's called the donkey kick, potentially going up into the full handstand. This is what it's going to look like. Dominant leg forward, hands either placed on the ground, by the words, or up by the head. From here, you're going to have your dominant leg kicking off, hands placed down, and you're just going to kick and recover. Kick and recover. From the side, what I'm interested in is having my hands make full contact with the ground so that the full palm and fingers are on the ground, not just the fingertips. And what I'm looking for as a coach is making sure that when they kick, the shoulder comes in line with the wrist, if not slightly ahead, and no bend in the elbows whatsoever. If that happens, they will eventually kick up into the handstand. Alright, so from this angle, I've got a kick up, hands by the words, heel could touch and come back down, or if my athlete is comfortable with all of the components we talked about, they're going to go all the way upside down. So this is part 1. Kicking down always with that dominant leg, 1 leg at a time, making sure they don't come down 2 legs at a time. So that's going to be part 1. If we had a 21-15-9 or a 40-30-20-10, we're going to make sure that it's 1-to-1 seconds held per rep. So if it's 21-15-9, they're going to hold for 21 seconds. If they're not in that holding position, they're going to kick up 21 times. That's part 1. Part 2 is going to be called the negative. Nothing else changes. Dominant leg. Find my kick up. From here, I'm going to look at the horizon, tighten the abs, squeeze the legs. I'm going to have my spotter come around, hands around the waist, and I'm going to lower until my head touches the mat. From there, I'm going to kick off 1 leg at a time, roll down, start over. Same thing, 1-to-1, 1 negative, 1 handstand push-up. Part 3 is called the egg. Alright, so for the egg, nothing changes. My athlete is comfortable in the kick up, comfortable in the negative. Now I'm going to place my bottom against the wall and bring my knees to my chest, making sure that the feet are away from the wall. So I don't want the feet into the wall, I want them perpendicular, parallel to the wall, perpendicular to the ground. From there, you're going to kick 1 leg at a time and come to safety. All right, that's part 3, 1-to-1. It's called the egg. After the negative, they're going to find their balance. From there, we have part 4, which is the Kipping handstand push-up. The reason that we have the shins out in front instead of to the side or against the wall. It's because the first motion is going to be a straight kick up. Once we kick up, then we're going to kick back with extension, let the head come through. So it's going to be looking like this. Kick up for part 1, negative for part 2, egg for part 3, and on the kick up, I'm going to kick straight up, back, lock out, come to my full stability, and come down one leg at a time. Alright guys, that's the kipping handstand push-ups. Those are the 4 portions of it. Have fun. On the hand position, guys, we're going to make sure that the hands are in line with the word, so slightly out and slightly turned in. That makes sure that when the head comes down, the head is more towards the wall than the hands are, so that we're in a bit of a triangle when we land in our support. We also have 2 options. We can start with the hands on the ground, making sure that the shoulders can still travel as we kick, or we can start, like I showed earlier, with a kick up, placing the hands. Just make sure that whatever you do, there's no buckle in the hand, and the shoulder comes forward of the wrist.
Oh, hell yeah.
This should be played at high volume.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can do handstands, I can do backflip, pounce on it, bounce, bounce like. I can do handstands, I can do backflip, pounce on it, bounce like. I can do cartwheels, I can do handsprings, I can do
anything you can do, I can do better.
Bounce like I can do handstands, I can do backflip.